Live for a session titled From Stuck to Feeling Free. And you might be in various degrees of, you might not identify with being stuck. You might be doing very well. And yet, if we're not fully self realized, myself included, it's like there is that little bit of where we do get stuck. And so this is for you because I know you are a very growth driven, self growth focused and committed person if you're here. And this is Visionary Yoga, the channel dedicated to yoga as personal development as well as the physical practice. And so I have 5 major tips for you today. And number one is that, it's about asking yourself the question, when you feel stuck, what am I identified with? What am I identified with? What aspect of you are you identified with? Are you identified with the problem side of you, the problem oriented side of you? Or are you oriented, are you connected to the possibility, the visionary dimension of you? That is something to ask because we always kind of look at the object of what we're focusing on, but we don't look at our come from, right? We don't look at where we are coming from and who we're being. And so that is always turning that spotlight inward is so important. And actually last week I did a session on really, got a problem, watch this. It was all about really deconstructing, how we frame a problem. And it's really that perception dimension that we come from. And number 2, okay, so there's a saying in yoga that what you become, what you think. There's a saying that you become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. And when we hear something like that, we've got to really stop and look at our thoughts, right? Because it's an immediate thing. You become what you think about most of the time. And so to look at, if you're wondering what am I identified with, it's very easy. What are you finding yourself preoccupied with most of the time? What are you giving most of your attention is? What you pay attention to is where you invest your energy. And so we got to start looking at that. When you find yourself feeling stuck, are you investing your energy into a loop from the past, like a broken record that has run itself umpty number of times? And it's time, right, to give your attention, to pay your attention to something else, right? And that's sometimes not as easy as it sounds, but it just takes doing this, right? Taking this and going here. And all of us are hardwired to focus on the obstacle right in front of us. And that's why we get so kind of giving our attention to the problem paradigm. We get stuck in that very easily. And so if you're feeling stuck, consciously taking that taking your attention and shifting it to where you want to go, right, is number 1. Number 2, okay, and also if you're one of the people who have a hard time slowing down the barrage of thoughts, and this is very common, right? We live in the digital era. There's tons of information coming at us, and we're processing at lightning speed, and so it's natural that the mind is just really in this gaining momentum, can't stop it kind of a place. And this is why insomnia is very common in our, first world countries. And so I created a meditation, and it's called the Karma Cleanse meditation, because karma is something that it is that wheel turning, that unstoppable wheel. And so it's important to harness, and really be able to stop or pause or slow down this wheel so that we can create some space. We need to wear our karma at a certain distance so that we have freedom. This is yoga with a capital Y, not wearing karma like a tight-fitting garment that you have no control over. And when the karma is going up, you're going up, and when it's going down, you go crashing down with it. We want to wear that karma with a certain distance. And so I created this meditation. It's called the Karma Cleanse meditation, and you can access it completely free. It's an MP3 download. I think it's about 10 minutes long, so it won't take too much of your time. It's at visionaryyoga.com/karma. Simple, visionaryyoga.com/karma. So I hope you use it, and I hope it supports you in really creating that spaciousness between you and this wheel of karma that is, unrelentingly turning. And so how else do we get unstuck? This journey from feeling stuck into feeling free. Number two is breathe newness. Breathe newness into your vision. Every moment we get the present, right? This is the holidays, so we get the present of the present. Every moment it's fresh, but it feels old because we're stuck in the past. We are looking at the present through the lens of the past. First thing is to practice metacognition, right? Become aware of awareness and breathe newness into your vision. Like every dawn, there's a brand new dawn. And nature is a master designer, master artist, and she never paints the same sunrise or the sunset twice. And so your vision and your resolution to achieve that vision has to be renewed the same way that, nature gives us the new dawn every single day. And when you feel stuck in your past, when you notice that, when you catch yourself, oh, I'm in this kind of seeing seeing the present through the lens of the past. The 3-word mantra. Right, last week in my, got a problem, watch this live cast, I gave you a Sanskrit mantra. Today I want to give you an English mantra that is very, very effective, very simple, 3 words. Up until now. Up until now is the paradigm shift mantra. Up until now, I may have come from this paradigm. Up until now, I have had this tendency. Up until now, I have been identified with this loop, this limited way, this egoic way of being. Up until now. And now is the pristine moment. And so refreshing your vision is about recommitting. Right? Everybody talks about commitment. The motivational speakers, it's like, you got to commit. And it's important, yes, that commitment, but motivation doesn't last forever. We fizz out, it fizzes out. And your commitment, your resolution, all these things can fizz out. That new year is coming. And what they say, it's like after 2 weeks, 30 days, it's like, and so it's in that recommitting, guys. It's in the recommitting that visionaries are excel. We gotta, walk this life like it's a long haul. It's a long marathon, right? It's a never-ending marathon. Really, even after this body is done, there is more. And so recommitting to, what you said you'd achieve, recommitting, realigning. You gotta align your organs with that vision that you said. And a lot of times, if you look, we're in a culture where, all these, there's so much about increasing our desire. All this motivational stuff is about increasing your desire, increasing that fire of desire. But what's missing is stoking. What's missing is tweaking your competency, right? Tweaking your skill set, because we cannot, however great our desire is, it's commensurate with our ability, with our skill, with our, how much energy we're investing also. And so recommitting means, it's a beautiful word in Sanskrit called sankalpa. Sankalpa is not just about the desire for an intent to bear fruit, but it's also about following through. Sankalpa is intention plus follow through. And so we need that sun and kalpa together, right? Sankalpa. And so recommit to your vision. And it's a great time right now, right before our New Year's. And it's we got to, one way of living is to live a vision-driven life, right? One way is to live a vision-driven life. Another way is to live a reactive, condition-based living. So these are 2 very different ways, and a lot of us kind of go back and forth, right? We know about vision-driven life, but we're not always stepping fully into it. And so vision-driven life means life by design, and condition-based reactive life means life by default. And so we've got a choice in every moment. And so heightening our awareness of moment to moment and heightening our awareness of, am I living by design or am I living by condition. It's often easier the condition-based way because there are habits in place, right? And that's the automated way. And so, but is that habit serving you? Right? That's the main question. And if you feel a need to craft your vision, to really paint that vision anew, I've got a wonderful workshop for you. It's completely free. It's called Craft Your Vision 2023. Okay? Craft your 2023 vision, living life by design, not by default. And I'll drop the link in the comments below this video. But and I hope you can join me because it's going to be really rolling up your sleeves. And there is a way in which we take that vision, which feels far away, which is like a someday vision, right? We all have a someday vision, but the difference between people who realize the vision and the people who actualize that vision is, for the people who actualize their vision, it's an ignited vision. There's a vast difference between a someday vision and on fire, ignited, really a felt, palpable vision that is a reality for you in this present moment. And so visionaries know how to live from their vision, not just towards their vision, right? And that's so important, to have that vision dialed in and create that energetic shift, right? So let's do that together, and join me for that Create Your Vision 2023, Live Your Life by Design, Not by Default workshop. Number four is stick to your vision. I stick to your decision to actualize that vision. And so a lot of times we are changing, like day by day, we're saying, okay, tomorrow I'll do this. And we make a decision, but then tomorrow rolls around and then it's like, oh, the bed is so comfortable. I made a decision to wake up at 5, but we change. We keep changing, right? When we're willy-nilly like this, our vision cannot be realized. If we keep moving back and forth, we'll never get there, right? We got to stick to the decision, even if for the moment we're feeling like it's hell. That level of commitment and recommitment is really, really important. That is alignment, right? Sticking to your decision. Make a decision and make it right. That's how visionaries roll. We always wonder, like, is this the right decision? Is this not the right decision? Well, make a decision and make it right. Make a decision and make it right. And so this is how you build self-trust, right? Part of the reason that we can't realize our vision is because we don't believe it. We don't have a trust and belief that we can realize it. And how do we build that belief and trust in ourselves? It's by making small decisions and sticking by it, right? Like, I made a decision to do this live cast at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and 100 things come up, that make it inconvenient. But it's like, make a decision and make it right. Show up for what you said you'll show up for. That's so important. In yogic culture, there are two paths. One is known as prayas. Prayas are Preyas. Prayas are those things that seem pleasant, that start out sweet, but later on turn sweet or bitter at the end. We all know those things, right? It's like, just one more glass of wine, just another, one more cookie. It can't do me harm. Or, just a few more minutes, press the snooze button. They feel very good at that moment, but doesn't yield a very good result in the end if you keep repeating that behavior. So that's prayas. The other is known as shreyas. 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 Shreyas are those things that are bitter in the beginning. It's got thorns. It's hard. It's like, oh my God, I don't feel like rolling out that yoga mat and doing my practice. I'm creaky. I'm tired, whatever, and, or, it's raining. I just don't want to run, or, but I committed to, training every day. I made that resolution, and it feels like a bitch when you're doing it, part of my language. But this is how we build, we build that frontal lobe, prefrontal cortex of willpower. And this leads to freedom. So, there is very much a relationship between freedom and struggle. There is a struggle to achieve that freedom always. Personal freedom or national freedom or whatever other freedom. There's always that struggle, right? But that personal freedom, the inner freedom, it's always so worth it. This is the epic battle that, Bhagavad Gita, the Bible of yoga, talks about, the battle on the field of Kurukshetra, which happened, many eons ago. Kurukshetra means the field of action. Field of action. What is that? That's your body. That's your life, right? This body yields whatever you plant it, you know? So if you plant the seed of always going for the prayers, the easy stuff, that's what you wire in, and that's the fruit you will reap. But if you plant the seed of Shreyas, okay, it's difficult right now. I'm struggling right now. I'll be honest, it's not easy. I don't like this, whatever, right? But I'm committed. And so that will yield a different kind of fruit. And so if you want the fruit of your vision, the fruit of your next level life you love, then there are certain things, there are certain tapasya, certain difficult things that we have to walk through, right? So stick to your decision, right? And then number five for going from stuck to experiencing freedom is simply to start now. And it sounds, I know it's right, and it's like, okay, I got it. It's a T-shirt, no Nike, just do it. But there are, some unpacking to do here. Start now. Take baby steps. Baby steps are not sexy. It's not winning the World Cup and the whole world cheering with you, right? It's like it's we can lower the bar, and so that we can take that baby step. Sometimes all of us, most of us raise the bar so high it's overwhelming. Like yesterday I talked to a client. She's like, I want to dial in a social media system, and I'm looking for the perfect person to hire, and I'm willing to, because I really want to, create this social media empire, and I want to post consistently. She got all this desire for this amazing, reach that her business will have. But I said to her, you know what? Like, you need to just start posting now. You yourself, don't look for anybody to hire, just start taking baby steps. It's not going to be perfect, and you're going to have to fight with that part of you that, will think, what will other people think? What am I going to, create? What am I going to post? And all these things will come up. But, take baby steps, whatever, post that imperfect post, take action and send it out into the world. That's how you build momentum, right? Especially with something that, requires this kind of consistency. It's like, you got to warm up to it a little bit. So you got to like start walking briskly, then it turns into a jog, then, you're in the flow. This momentum building takes time. So that first step is the hardest to take. Take the baby step, right? Is there a vision that's been in the back burner, a dream that's been in the back burner that's kind of gotten cold? And it's like daunting, when you think about that. Oh yeah, that was a dream I had, many months ago, many years ago, when I was a kid or whatever. And when you dust it off and bring it to the foreground, it's a little daunting, right? And so, but what can you do now, right, with what you've got? That is another mantra you can ask yourself, do what you can with what you've got, right? Because again, we've got the desire for it, but now it's time to tweak our competence, right? Sometimes the desire is here and the competence is like, we haven't really worked on it, because that's the hard stuff, right? That takes prayer. This is prayer, sorry, this is Shreya. Right, this is the easy stuff, desire, and this is the shreyas of the hard work. And so now, keeping your focus on the vision, let's take the baby steps. Work on increasing your competence, right? Before you can have your social media empire, you've got to learn the platform. You've got to learn how to create an engaging post. You got to learn how to, be consistent and do it even when you don't feel like it, and all those things. And then we can, hire somebody to do it, right? So, and then celebrate your baby steps. We also don't do this. We are so good at poo-pooing ourselves and being down on ourselves. And then, whatever that little spark of inspiration is dead. So when you have that spark, you want to learn to stoke it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. It's your vision. It's your, you've been given this desire, and desire means of the Father, right? If you have a true, deep, heart-based desire to do something, it comes from the universe. And if you own it, and you got to take that flame and build it into a bonfire, and you got to celebrate your baby steps. One step, and then woohoo! I rolled out the yoga mat. Next step, okay, child pose. Take a few deep breaths. All right, next day, roll off the mat, do a child pose, and maybe a little cat cow. Woohoo! Give yourself a huge, pat on the back for that. Nobody else is going to do it for you. But the baby steps, one after the other, can take you all the way to the top of the Himalayas or Kilimanjaro, whatever that mountain you're looking to scale is. So celebrate your baby steps. And if you see other people who are struggling with this, give them a pat on the back too, and let's support one another. It's like we don't need to be doing this, right? Because there's really no competition, really, because you've got your own unique vision to move towards. And it might seem like there are other people in your space, but actually, you can learn so much from your competition. We're all teachers and students to one another. And so, just this competitive thing makes us contract, makes us kind of do things that are not in the highest, not in harmony with that expansion. And so we can take that, competition. A little competition is actually healthy, but really we learn from each other. And so today's your day, right? Start now. Start today. So let me just recap 5 steps of, going from feeling stuck to feeling free, to that liberation. So number one, remember your original intent, right? Remember your original vision. Where were you going, right? Where were you going before you got stuck? Dust that off, right? Number two, ask yourself, what are you identified with? What are you identified with? Are you identified with the survivalist part of you? Are you identified with the past, how things been? Are you identified with a story that's running in your head for how things are? The unverified story always, right? Are you identified with this, thinking machine, right? Number three, breathe newness into your vision. Refresh your vision like the new dawn. Refresh your commitment and recommit, right? That's number three. So, so important. And by the way, the freebie that I wanted to offer you, the gift, is visionaryyoga.com/karma. That's the meditation to help you really create that spaciousness so you can stop this circular movement of your mind and really breathe that freshness into your vision. So you can go grab that now, visionaryyoga.com/karma. And number four, stick to your vision. Make a decision and make it right. Make a decision and make it right. Align with your decision. Number five, start now. Take baby steps. Up until now, whatever has this tendencies has been there, this fresh moment is a new possibility. So walk through it with baby steps, one in front of the other. Celebrate your baby steps. So today is your day to build a new identity. Today is your day to build a new inner belief that you are a visionary. You are the creator of your life. This is your moment. This is your moment. It's the time to plant whatever you wish to bear fruit in your life. Plant that seed and keep watering it, with, with doing the hard stuff, right? That makes that choose the Shreyas path. And as long as there's breath in this body, you don't get not to create results, right? As long as there's pulse and heartbeat in your body, you can't not create results. So if you live, 365 days a year, you're going to create a results of some kind. And so it's much better to do this consciously than by default, right? So none of us are perfect, but we're all works in progress, right? And so let's support one another. And I would love to hear from you, actually, and just what have you done in the past that has gotten you unstuck, right? Because you have a track record of getting yourself unstuck. you have success in your past, right? What were the things that worked for you? I would love to hear. Please comment in the field below. And if you found this useful, I would love for you to share it with somebody who might, find this useful. And you can subscribe to my channel at Visionary Yoga TV. That's youtube.com/@Mark Visionary Yoga. And I really appreciate you being here and being the kindred spirit that you are. Thank you so much. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day and wishing you very happy holidays. See you soon in the next